Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest today. He's a very close friend and from the family from way back. And we'll talk about that and how we got to know each other and how I know her grandfather and grandmother. So our guest today is Rochelle Griffith Culbreath, who is a councilwoman here in Norristown. And I can say, I've been around a couple corners, and I can say that you're a very dedicated person. So I'm glad to have you here to talk about Norristown because we're a growing town. We're the county seat, and we got a lot we're looking forward to. So, Rochelle,
thank you very
tell
much.
me something about yourself.
Thanks for having me, I feel very welcome. And I'm honored to be on your show. Everyone watches your show. I think it's great. It provides very good information to the community, and I'm excited to be here. And Norristown is on its way up. The future is very bright for us.
I'm glad to hear that. And, you're in a position to do something about it. And
Yes.
I know you're doing things about it. You're not
Yes.
afraid to speak up. And that's, a little bit of a fighter, a little jab.
That's right. That's right.
But,
I have to
tell me something about yourself. Now, you went to school here in Norristown?
Yes.
Well, tell me
yes.
something about your school.
I graduated right here in Norristown.
Norristown High School?
Norristown High School, yes.
What elementary school did you go to?
I went to Penn Christian Academy, though, right on.
Yeah?
It's at now Penn Square, right on Germantown Pike.
Oh, yeah.
But I went to Norristown High School. I was a graduate right here, and I was on Eagle News a couple times, so this room's familiar to me. And then went on to Temple University, and after Temple University, I moved back to Norristown in 1997.
And you're married?
Yes, I'm married.
And you got a little bambina?
I have a new baby daughter. She's 1 year old. Her name's Brianna.
What's her name?
Brianna.
Oh, God.
She's in her first day of daycare. So
God.
it's been an exciting week.
I saw her last night at the Carver Center. They're moving around. We'll talk about that later on. So you're educated, and after you got your education, you thought about getting involved.
Yes.
What motivated you to run for council in Norristown, knowing that Norristown is a tough town, it's an old town, and we're going to be celebrating 200 years pretty soon,
200
right?
years very soon.
200 years.
200 years. Norristown's very unique. The fabric is very strong families, and most everyone knows everyone.
Right.
And I think my interest in running was based on my family's strong public service background. My grandfather was a police officer. My grandmother was a teacher, and all they taught me was to serve people, help each other out. Everyone should work together. It shouldn't be your family. It should be all families. All the community works together. And when I came back to Norristown, I noticed that things were just different. It wasn't the same. Town just didn't feel right. And I wondered, well, exactly what can I do to help? Is there anything I can do? What can I contribute? So I thought about starting a few things. That's when I started the Welcome Wagon.
Okay.
That was my first thing.
Right.
And the Welcome
Wagon. That's
Wagon.
connected with what? The
Initiative. Norristown Initiative. Yes, Norristown Initiative runs the Welcome Wagon for us. And every time a new...
What's the purpose of the Welcome Wagon? Somebody new, or how's that work?
Yes, it's really for new residents and new businesses. Anyone that moves into the town to do business or to move here as a new resident gets a Welcome Wagon bag. And then I stop by their house, I knock on their door and welcome them to the town, tell them a little bit about the services, how they can get from here to there. One girl called last week, she's new to the town. She wanted to know what transportation she can have to get to Philadelphia to work.
And we do have good transportation here.
Great transportation.
New bus station being on the planning board.
Yes, yes, we have a lot of great things in sight.
And your grandfather, I worked with him, William Nallen, Officer Nallen, and he was just a good person. And he's your grandfather.
Yes.
Now, I knew your great-grandfather, Reverend Nallen.
You knew him?
Reverend Nallen, and they lived on the corner of Willow and was it Wood, I guess.
That's right.
That's right. I remember. It was a porch house.
Yes.
Right. And I used to put the old Gottwald School, put a boxing exhibition on, and he believed in boxing. A kid learning how to box and defend himself, so I knew your great-grandfather, your grandfather, and hey, how about that? That's what I like about Norristown. We get to know each other.
That's right.
Now, we're talking about the borough's going to be getting ready for a 200th anniversary?
Yes.
Right.
Shortly, we're having our big bicentennial celebration. We had our very first meeting of our bicentennial committee. We have 5 people on our committee.
Who attended that?
Noreen Morello's on the committee. Fran Doyle's on the committee.
He's from the
Cultural Center,
Right.
Frandorf and the
That's a
Cultural
big
Center.
thing in Norristown.
Yes.
It's going to be growing.
Very
And
positive.
I like people to participate. I go see some of the shows, and they're great shows.
Aren't they?
I mean, professional. In fact,
Very
John
good.
Doyle's the director. Is
Yes.
also the director here at this high school studio. And he was telling me that most of the people that come to see the show in Norristown are from Philadelphia.
It's
I
interesting.
can't believe it. Here we got
Interesting.
something good here.
Yes.
And well, that's good. Let them keep coming from Philly, but let's us
We
get
should
behind
also
it.
support
Right.
people from Norristown.
So what else you got on the
Yeah.
drawing board?
Our bicentennial celebration is going to be exciting. We have Mary Ellen DeGregorio's on it, and Mr. Jim Mullane is also on that committee. And we have invited 3 other guests to be on that committee that have some history about Norristown, can add
Yeah.
some real impact to
Right.
the committee. And what we're going to be doing is we're having a quilt made with photographs,
Oh, okay.
patchwork photographs. And this quilt's going to be sold for $15, and it's going to be a part of our fundraising
How
for.
many are you going to make?
We're going to make over 100.
Over 100?
Yeah.
And you're going to sell for how much?
We're going to sell them for $15.
$15.
Yeah.
Come on. That didn't pay for the cost. Yeah,
We're
pay
gonna-
half 100 at least.
We
you
hope
know.
to sell 212 because that's the year of our
Well,
bicentennial.
okay, you know, maybe I'll be your marketing guy.
Okay,
You know.
that'd be great.
All right, now, you are a council person.
Yes.
What powers do you have? Now you have a new type of government.
Mm-hmm.
You have a mayor that is a mayor, but he don't have the power over the police like he did before.
Right.
He don't have that power, so that's eliminated.
Yes.
So now you have a type of government. Tell me something about it.
Well, it's
Advantages,
different.
disadvantages, or what?
Okay, it's
All positive I want to hear. I don't want to hear
Okay.
nothing bad.
okay.
Leave the
It's
bad for another show.
good idea. I think it's completely different than before July 1st. When I first was elected councilwoman, I was really just a legislator. So all my power used to be is to create the laws for the borough, for the municipality of Norristown. Create the laws for the town that the police and the borough employees would follow. Now, as of July 1st, I'm also a part of the administrative branch of the government, which means I am involved in the day-to-day activities. A lot of the going on of human resources issues, issues with our labor unions, I'm involved in all of those.
You know, well, you could stick your nose in anything that you
Yes.
feel that,
Yes.
okay.
Now we're
that's good.
involved in a lot more.
Well,
than-
if you're elected official to represent the people, you should have some power.
I
to say,
agree.
Well, I can't do this and I can't do that. Well, what did I elect you for?
Exactly.
That
exactly.
sounds good. That
Exactly.
sounds good.
We do a lot of listening.
Uh-huh.
We listen.
Well, it should be 90%
Yes.
listening and 10% talking.
That's
And then 100% doing.
That's exactly, that's a
think
great
that's
way to look at it. That's exactly right. Listening is a big part, though. Our constituents, we listen to them because they provide us what information we need to change the laws. Listening to them, how they want things changed in the borough, in the municipality. That's how we make change.
All right, now you have I understand it's a hotline. What's that
Yes.
about?
Our new hotline, we just instituted, it was a initiative that was set forth by President of Council, Tony Darden, and the hotline number.
Tony Darden's, yeah.
Yes, he's
I
our
interviewed
president.
him. He's a great athlete. You know.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
Very impressive. Our hotline number, is it okay to give that?
Go ahead.
It's
Yeah.
610-270-0446. You can call that number anytime,
We can
24
put
hours.
that on the screen later on, I think. We'll see our technical advisors there.
Okay.
They can put that on there.
Excellent.
Our hotline, I think it's important. Now, a hotline, why would we call them a hotline? What would be the reasons?
Okay, the hotline is for all of the residents of Norristown as well as any businesses. You can call the hotline if you see a pothole that you need fixed.
That's
You
good.
can call and let them know what street you see a street light out.
Uh-huh.
You can call and let them know what any ideas that you may have for any revenue generation, anything that you can think of.
Well, in other words, you call that hotline, and that will be recorded,
Yes. hmm
and somebody's going to write down the complaint?
Yes.
And that'll be,
We keep a record of those
and who
complaints.
checks on that?
Those complaints are given to each one of the council members where the issue happens.
Ward, in other words,
Yes.
your district, you have a district.
That's right.
What's your district?
My district's the third district.
Okay, now that's comprised of what?
That's from the library
The
to
library on Powell Street?
Powell Street Library, Montgomery County
Yeah,
Library,
yeah.
to Johnson Highway, all the way to Markley and Arch. So it's from Markley Street to Arch Street, Johnson Highway to the library.
Oh.
A big
That's a
square.
Sure.
Yep, big square.
I got a little, get this little frog out of my voice, I'll be all right here. All right, now the welcome wow, we did mention about, what other good features that you have that Norristown's working on? I know
Norristown,
about that ramp or something, what, you
yeah,
involved in that?
Yeah, Lafayette Street corridor. That's going to enable us to have our own actual exit off of the turnpike, which will make us more accessible. And we all know that in order to generate business and to bring business to Norristown, we must be accessible to businesses.
Right.
But we have other initiatives such as housing, public safety, and encouraging other businesses, our business development.
Sure. What are some of the issues facing Norristown today?
Our biggest
Good
issue...
issues and, well, maybe,
some not
meds
so
and
good.
meds.
Okay. Our biggest issue is housing and overcrowding and the quality of life. We are in the process now of working with our code enforcement department and working with the county. We're building relationships and partnering with these people in order to make sure that we address some of our overcrowding
issues. In other words,
issues.
you're working with the homeowners.
Yes.
Yes. Sure, I think what, it'd be good to be working with the homeowners rather than, just saying, well, I'm going to arrest them.
Right.
I think because everybody has a problem. If they don't know how to, they don't know what they're doing, then you tell them what to do.
Exactly right.
And if they're not doing right, but I think that it would be nice to have a meeting with all these people and say, hey, this is the way it's going to be. This is the rules of the game.
That's a good idea.
But standing back and saying, wait for somebody calls and says, hey, there's 10 people in this house and, arrest the landlord. I think that the code enforcers, the police and council and the landlord should be working together because they're here.
Yes.
And the landlords are not going to sell their place,
That's true.
They keep on paying fines and all. I think we could work together. And, I remember when I was a policeman in Norristown, the mother would call me up and say, Sergeant Cisco, I think my son is using drugs. He's a bad company. I don't want him arrested. I think he's playing, Will you talk to him? Well, all right. I would go and I talk to find out what the situation. I didn't go there and arrest him because he's, So it's the same thing here. If a landlord or somebody is asking for help, then they should work with them.
I agree.
And I had the district attorney on my show here, and he was saying he was going to work with Norristown. I think it's good. It's good to have law enforcement. It's good to have this quality of life bit too.
That's the truth.
And you have a language barrier. You've got quite a few Mexicans that,
we do.
And I think the day's going to come when you're going to have a couple of Hispanic police officers.
I agree.
And that would be a big help.
Yeah, we have a few police officers that speak Spanish. They've taken a couple courses, and actually some council members are working on their Spanish. So we realize that we have a new population. We have over 12,000 Latino and Hispanic people in our town, and we welcome them. They have opened up new businesses, but we really need to work with them. And in doing that,
well, I was wondering why can't call Philadelphia or somebody get a grant? Say Philadelphia, we need a couple of police officers just for a loan for a year or two.
Yes.
Okay, and the grant would pay for it. I don't know. We got to try all these things because everything's changing.
That's true. It's true.
So, all right, now what else we got cooking that you think is going to be worthwhile in Norristown?
Well, I think
Why do I want to move to Norristown?
Why would you want to? Because I really think that the future, the next maybe 5 or 6 years, Norristown's going to return back to the way it was. We're going to start to see businesses move back in. We have our planning department has a lot of calls from people who are interested in having a business here. We're trying to create Restaurant Row, as you probably know, on Main Street, where we have a series of new different kind of restaurants.
Right.
So if there's any restaurants
Well, I know
out there.
Marshall Street now, they got, you think that's a League of Nations up there. You got Oriental, you got Greek, you got Italian, you got Mexican, you got Guatemala, and the whole bit,
Great food, too. You go to those restaurants.
Fish, you get everything right there.
Yes.
So that's a little business section. You go to these other towns and say, well, there's a little section here, they sell all kinds of food and all. So, that's great. That's one part of it. Now Main Street had to start because
That's right.
I remember when I was a policeman, I'd walk the beat or patrol it, there were stores there, women's dress stores, Novels, people would go. I mean, they wouldn't have to go to Philadelphia.
Right.
Everything was here.
Order King
In
of
fact,
Prussia, yeah.
in fact, Connie Williams's parents,
That's correct.
they
Connie
owned the
Williams'
store,
father
and
owned
I
the
shined her
store.
father's shoes at my
Yes.
father's shoe shop at 88 East Main Street. I
Isn't
shined
that
shoes.
impressive? And speaking of Connie Williams, she was there last evening at
yeah?
the event at
Oh,
the
let's
Carver.
talk about last evening. Last
Okay.
evening, we were at the
Carver.
Carver Center, and this is what the headline of the Times Herald.
Yes.
That the group of people are getting together.
Mhm.
There was a murder in Norristown, and there was a teenager that murdered someone, and then shot himself and wounded another girl. And they think that maybe the teenagers today, we want to get together
Yes.
and help the teenagers. So this was a group.
Yes.
So what happened last night? I got there a little late.
Yeah. Well, last
I didn't
night.
get an opportunity to talk, but I listened.
Yeah. It was a discussion, and there was several.
Go ahead.
Several key leaders in the community were there. We had police officers that were there. Our chief of police was there. We had members of council.
You had the press there, too.
We
I
had the
saw
press.
Stan Husky and also Gordon.
Gordon Glantz was there.
Yeah, yeah.
And ABC,
So there's an interest
Channel
there.
6.
You got
Yes.
key people.
Yes, key people were there, and it was discussion, a grassroots discussion for the community to vent about this tragic event that happened last Friday evening. And I think it was a good opportunity because at the beginning of the meeting, children, members of the community, kids that are about maybe 14 to 16 years old, spoke,
Oh,
and
yeah?
they spoke from their
Yeah,
heart.
I missed that. I got there late. Yeah.
It was moving.
Uh-huh.
And they spoke about how they have feelings of just needing to talk to somebody
Uh-huh.
and really just needing to share and for people to listen to them
Mm-hmm.
about, their ideas, just how they're feeling overall as people, and everything that's going on in the world. It was very interesting. Very interesting. And I think I took a few things.
What's come
from
out
it.
of it now? What's going to happen?
I think that what people are going to do is be more aware.
Yeah.
I think that people are going to call the police if they see
Right.
something now. I don't think they're going to be as fearful if a parent feels that a child's gone astray.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to pick up the phone and call for help. And I think we gave them enough resources last night to let them know
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that there's
It's a
someplace.
step forward.
Yes.
Right.
One little step forward, and we have to take small steps. It's a
You know,
big problem.
I like to say, when I was head of the Juvenile Division for 24 years. I was with Norristown and 14
Yeah.
years with the District Attorney's Office, and my whole life is working with juveniles. And I'd say, well, what was a key thing, the cause of juvenile delinquency? I would say, a guy that's in the grassroots, I'd say a lack of respect,
Yes.
a lack of respect for the parents,
Yes.
a lack of respect for the teachers in school, lack of
Yes.
respect for police officers, for authority, lack of respect for judges in court that put them on probation,
Yes.
and they break probation, and a lack of respect for other people's property. I mean,
That's true.
no matter what way it goes. So,
true.
and there was J. Edgar Hoover made a statement. I don't know where he got it. He wasn't that religious, but he said the child been taught to respect the laws of God will have little trouble respecting the laws of man. And it's true. You
Very
respect
true.
the laws of man. That's all you got to
That's
do.
all you have to do.
If it says don't walk in the grass, the sign don't walk in the grass.
That's true.
They
That's
go
true.
and get a shovel and dig it up.
Yeah.
Well, okay, get that shovel, get that guy, and put him in jail. That's all.
right. That's right.
But you have to. But see what happens sometimes. Juveniles they confuse kindness with weakness. They think a parent is
Their
and they
friend, yeah.
become weak. But you have to be stern.
That's right.
You got to
That's
be a little hot and cold.
Yes.
So what else? Who else was there?
Let me see. There was a lady that spoke on parenting. She was from New Jersey. I can't remember her name, but she spoke on parenting overall and just made a strong connection with if you strengthen your family and in your actual household, you won't have to worry about the community. The community will automatically
Yeah.
become strong if you work on your household.
Well, I had some literature I picked up when I was with the Norristown Police Department, then when I was with the county detectives, and I used to get calls and talk to teachers, and there was a couple poems I want you to read it because I know you're a
Okay.
good reader,
Okay.
because your grandmom was a teacher, right?
She was.
And your
She was a
great-grandfather
writer.
was a minister.
Yes.
So let me read
Okay,
that off,
I
I think.
will.
Right into the, go
Okay,
ahead.
it says, we read in the papers and hear on the air of killing and stealing and crime everywhere. We sigh and we say as we notice the trend, this young generation, where will it end? But can we be sure it's their fault alone? That maybe a part of it isn't our own. Too many things that can lead them astray, too much to spend, and too much idle time, too many movies of passion and crime, too many books not fit to be read, too much of evil in what they're herein said, too many juke joints and too many bars, too many hot rods and rattle trap cars, too many reasons for children to roam, and too many parents who don't stay at home.
Well, that's what they were, I think that's what we were talking about
exactly
there.
what
Saying
they were
the
saying
parents
last
have to,
night.
you know, the parents have to take the bull by the horns.
Very
Come on,
true.
you know?
Very true.
And then sometimes they can't hold,
Yeah.
they have to get some help.
That's
I
so true.
remember, mother would come in, Sergeant Cisco, my son, he was so good, you know, but now as he gets older, he's going into junior high school and he's, you know, he's causing some problem. I can't, ever since my husband died,
Right,
you know, he
right.
don't have a man's voice. Talk to him stern, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and they need help.
They do.
Okay,
They
so
do.
this is things that the community can help out. You know, I
That was
wanted to
great.
read
That was
here.
really great.
You know, they say, well, you know, the kids today worse today than years ago.
Yeah.
Well, an Egyptian priest, written in stone in Egypt. Okay. 4,000 years ago. I want you to read that because you're a
Okay.
good reader.
Oh, thank
Here,
you.
read that one. 4,000 years ago.
Okay, this is what he said. He said, youth is disintegrating. The youngsters of the land have a disrespect for their elders and a contempt for authority in every form. Vandalism is rife, and crime of all kinds is rampant among our young people. The nation is in peril. That was 4,000 years ago.
Now,
The same thing
now,
as
how about
today.
Socrates over here? This is 2,500 years ago.
Interesting. It says children today love luxury.
Okay, that's 2,500 years ago.
It's
Go
the
ahead.
same
I don't know what they
today.
had, wooden chariots or something.
Same today.
Is that right?
Interesting. They have bad manners, a contempt for authority, a disrespect for their elders, and they love to talk instead of work. They contradict their parents, chatter before company, gobble up the best at the table, and talk about their teachers. Interesting.
You know, so we're saying, that what do we have to do? We have to have control, you
Yes.
know, and these things were happening. I guess it's human nature that they, you know, violate, but
Yeah.
it's our responsibility as
Yes, it is.
parents. We bring them in here, and we have to take care
We
of them.
have an obligation.
Okay.
We do.
Now, how about, what other the council has divisions, okay? You have a safety department. How's that broken up now?
The council members each have a committee. I'm the vice president of council. Tony
You're
Darden.
vice president of
Yes,
council.
and Tony-
And Tony Darden?
He's the president of council.
Okay, and then,
And then we have Olivia Brady. She has been on council for 4 years. She is the 2nd district councilwoman, and her committee is the Economic and Development Committee. So Olivia addresses issues of businesses that want to move into Norristown, anything that's regarding building the community up.
bringing people in. That's
Bringing new
Brady's
business.
job,
That's
okay?
Olivia. And Marge Hunsiker, she's the Public Safety Committee. Her committee's Public Safety.
Now, all right, now say public safety. What would be her responsibility? Somebody has a complaint about what?
The police,
But
or
police?
crime,
No,
or
I mean, can't complain against the police in reference to
right, a
alerting the
police
police
issue.
to
Yeah.
follow through.
Mhm.
Police
Exactly,
action,
a police
okay.
action. And Eddie Turner, our brand new councilman.
Right.
Brand new. His committee is the Public Works Committee. So that would be the streets, signs, parks,
Parks.
anything related to
He's a
recreation.
new councilman.
Very new
Right.
councilman from Virginia. He's just here.
What district's he in?
He's the 4th district.
Okay.
And he works at Lockheed Martin. He's an engineer. Very intelligent in
Right,
public
right.
works. He's good at it.
But he don't mix much, does he? He's a
Yeah,
quiet guy,
he's
you know?
very quiet.
I talked to him a couple of times, but very quiet, you know?
Yes, he's very quiet, but once you get him
I have-
talking, talk about his issues, the things he likes.
What
his
should
little
I
model-
talk, next time I see him, what should I talk about?
Talk about model planes. You'll get
Uh-oh.
him going there.
How about boxing, you know?
He's interested in
Hey,
sports
talk
as
about
well.
boxing, we're gonna have a boxing show at the Carver Center.
Oh.
We got a young fella from, Willie O'Berry from, Norristown High School here that's gonna
Okay.
make his, debut here
Yeah.
at Norristown. We got quite a few, high school students are gonna go see him in
Great.
his bout.
That's
But
great.
that's something, I was teaching the kid how to box, teach him respect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not gonna go around, you know, a lot of times they act tough, talk tough, and they can't even lick a postage
That's
stamp.
right.
See, and they find out that, you know, the other guy might be tougher, so,
Mm-hmm.
but, now we're very proud. I know I am. Yesterday I had Chief Adams from West Norton, and we were bragging about Norristown High School.
Yes,
You know, that we're,
yes.
you know, and I travel around the country quite a bit, and I'm proud of Norristown. Not only
Yeah.
Norristown, but the high school, our police department, and our county
Yes.
functions too.
Yes.
Government is great.
is.
Until you go to another part of the country,
Right.
you're welcome back.
That's the truth. That is
So-
the truth.
And now, go ahead.
Our police department and our fire department are
Right.
top
Oh, that's
rate.
fire department.
The
Yes.
fire, I mean, we get
You got a
rave
new
reviews.
fire chief there.
New fire chief, Tommy O'Donnell,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
wonderful person. And
In fact, his
truly-
uncle used to be a policeman. He used to work with.
Is that
I
right?
was a sergeant there. Now he's Hill, Freddie
Uh-huh.
Hill.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
now he's with the zoning.
He's on the zoning
Yeah,
board,
yeah.
yes. And our departments, we get rave reviews. They work very hard with very little resources. Our community has learned to really work hard with what we have.
right.
And I think that that's part of the reason why we're actually going to make it in the next 5 years to where Norristown looks a lot better.
Well, I was impressed when, the Times Herald put an article asking people to come to the Carver Center last night and, to get involved. And I was really
Yeah.
not surprised. Well,
Yeah.
I say surprised,
I
but
was too.
but happy to see a packed house.
Me too.
I mean, I had to worm my way in the
Yeah.
door, okay?
Yeah.
And I can see now that people want to get involved.
They do.
Okay, so we need that leadership. We need something to take it from there to move it on.
Yes. Yes.
And I think the city hall should be a welcome wagon.
I agree.
People call city hall to get information. There should be somebody there ready to give it to them, or
Yeah.
if they don't know, move it on.
Move it on. That's true. We should be a resource. And we have a new phone system. When you call Borough Hall now, when you call Norristown Borough now, you get a system where you punch in what department you're looking for. So we're really trying
Well,
to
in
make
other
it.
words, when you call, you don't get an operator.
You can push 0 to get operator, but you can go right directly to your actual department.
Oh, okay.
It speeds up the phone call and actually makes it more productive because you actually get to talk to the actual department as soon as you get on the phone. So, and it's much more friendlier.
Yeah, well, we've talked about Norristown. There's a lot we can talk about, and I'm just happy that you're a council person here, and I know that you're helping Norristown, and I'm happy that you're here as my guest.
Thank
So,
you.
Rochelle,
Thank
I
you.
want to thank you very much
Thank
for
you
being
for
here.
having me. It was my
And-
pleasure. It was a
right,
great
I'm telling
time.
you, it was
Thank
a
you
great,
so much.
great half hour here
Thank
talking.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for allowing us to come into your home, and God bless. Thank you.